Well, good afternoon or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Virtually Yours travel show expert panel. And could you wish for a better expert panel from the lovely city of Tampa Bay? They have everything going on. They had WrestleMania a couple of weeks ago. They've had the Super Bowl. They've got the Valspar PGA on at the moment. Shortly, I'm almost sure they're going to have their big festival coming up when the big pirate ship comes up the Hillsborough River. Everything going on. What people perhaps don't appreciate, and I didn't appreciate until I've been, and Santiago and Neil are going to update me on what the current scene is, but how unique and lovely, the food and drink scene is. And Santiago, perhaps you can give me an update. I mean, one of the things is the comprehensive nature of the cuisine, the influence of Cuban from Ybor City, the Latin influence, and fresh product from Florida itself.
For many, many years, Tampa's been known as this very historic, beautiful paradise in Florida. And it has really become a culinary paradise because we've had creative genius behind restaurant concepts and breweries, as you'll hear from Neil. But I mean, eclectic, unusual, one of a kind, not to be found in other parts of the state of Florida, not to be found in other parts of the country. The Columbia Group obviously owns the oldest, largest Spanish restaurant, probably in the United States right here in Tampa, but the concepts they've released recently, from Eulalie out on the Riverwalk in an old water purifying building with pure Florida cuisine, to its new, very high-end Italian eatery, Casa Santo Stefano. And if you're nostalgic, a great burger joint in one of our historic neighborhoods, Goody Goody. So Richard is a pioneer, obviously, but also evolving with a great culinary scene. But we've had Michelin chefs relocating restaurants to Tampa during the pandemic. I've been shocked how many new restaurants and dining opportunities have opened during a pandemic, during a time when in other places things are shutting down. Obviously, the state of Florida has been open for business. Our climate really allows for us to enjoy the outdoors, but also, very, very focused on safety. And, we've started marketing this as a very unique destination, as you know, focused on, yes, our diversity, our history, our culture, but our culinary and craft beer brewing evolution. And, all of our videos feature some sort of dining, some sort of drinking. We've got a new series out called On the Horizon, which really focuses on, what's been new during the pandemic, but also we've got a great craft beer brewing series. We've released a cookbook, we've released a drink book, and we've really focused on marketing this destination as somewhere where you're going to come and your palate is going to have as great a time as your body enjoying this incredible destination.
Fantastic, Neil. This is it's a win-win situation in Tampa, because during the day, you can go out on the beach, you can go to a theme park, you can play golf, you can maybe watch a major sporting event, because I've just mentioned a couple of them. It's all sorts of things you can do. But in the evening and at lunchtime, it's a whole host of things to do, and there's a whole host of things to drink. And your brewery in particular, it's from Tampa. It's the Cigar City Brewing Company. Tell me a little bit about the history and where do you get your inspiration from in terms of your beers?
Well, really, the answer to your question, Graham, is the city of Tampa. The city of Tampa informs everything that we do here at Cigar City Brewing. We were founded as a company back in 2007 by Joey Redner. He's a fifth-generation Floridian. He's lived his whole life in Tampa. And he was looking around the Tampa Bay area. And at the time, we were very under-indexed for breweries. You looked at other places in the U.S., places like Colorado or Southern California, where there were dozens of breweries. And for a major metropolitan area like Tampa Bay to, at the time, only have 6 craft breweries, he said, really, this is a wide open playing field. So he wanted to tell the story of Tampa, of Tampa's history, culture, and cuisine through beer. So back in January 30th, 2009, we brewed the very, very first batch of Cigar City beer. It was brewed on this system over here just to my left. And it was a batch of Maduro Brown Ale, which is a great example of one of our beers that is informed by the history of Tampa. Maduro is the dark wrapper on a cigar. Cigar references in turn a Cigar City reference. And really that speaks to, like you mentioned earlier, Graham, Ybor City being a huge tobacco manufacturing area in the early 20th century. you can't talk about Tampa history and Florida history without talking about cigars. So that's where some of the inspiration is coming from. It's the history of the Cuban influence when we're working with Cubano Espresso. It's another one of our beers that's inspired by something that's, very specific to Tampa, is that cuisine and that Cuban coffee, and really tying all of those elements together in our beers. So something like High Life IPA, which is a brand that everybody in the US, if you like IPAs, are probably familiar with. And we actually have a very strong presence in the UK market as well with High Life. Big citrusy, tropical inspired IPA, but it's a reference to a game that was very, very popular in Florida and is an important part of Florida history. So everything that we do here at Cigar City Brewing is informed by the culture, cuisine, and history of Tampa. It's really exciting.
That's very good. I mean, also I've noticed in Florida they have not only do they have outstanding breweries, yours being the best, of course, but they also there's a fair new number of distilleries springing up as well, making rum, making gin, making bourbon. Not so much gin. Gin's big in the UK, but bourbon and things of that nature. Are you aware of any of that going on in Tampa?
There are a handful of really great distilleries down here. They're exploding, I think, with sort of the same kind of fervor that breweries were exploding when we opened up in 2009. To go from the founding of the company in 2007 to have 6 craft breweries in the area. Fast forward to the year 2021, we have over 90 now. It's incredible how quickly it's grown. And we're starting to see sort of the beginning stages of that with distilleries as well. And we've partnered with some local distilleries as well. We're taking some spirit barrels that they're using to age their spirits, and then we're now aging beer in some of them. And we're always looking for opportunities to work with other Tampa-based breweries, distilleries, restaurants. Really, it's a rising tide carries all ships sort of approach to things. If the distilleries down here are getting attention, then that's going to help Cigar City Brewing as well.
Yes, indeed.
Hey,
Getting
Graham,
back to...
Yeah, if I could add something, what Busch Garden is to Florida attractions and Tampa attractions, and Richard Gonsmart and the Columbia Group, opening up in 1903 to, culinary scene in Tampa, Cigar City Brewing is to that brewing effort. I mean, we were not getting any buzz for craft beer brewing until Cigar City Brewing started. I mean, I can remember those early days where, we may have had 5 or 6, but we weren't known for it until we obviously had the creative genius behind Cigar City Brewing. And then all of a sudden, we got, fast forward to what Neil's saying, 90 plus. And it's because I think we started to have some quality behind the brewing. And that's what we saw in Cigar City. So we've got a lot of pioneers here that have really helped us evolve to what we are today.
One of the things that I was always impressed with, and I'm still to this day impressed with, is that not only the brewers, the distilleries, but the restaurants where they can are all using local product as well. So the farm to table, the farm to beer glass or pint glass, the food miles is kept to a minimum, which obviously helps with sustainability and helps their local economy pick up and so on. The other thing that is really, maybe Santiago as a summary of this, you can comment on, is that particularly in Ybor City, not only do you have fantastic food, but you walk around the streets, and it may sound like sacrilege in Ybor City, but you would not think you're in Florida. You would think you are somewhere Latin, Cuban, whatever, but it has an atmosphere about it which is unique, and it's fabulous.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what's really beautiful about Tampa here in Hillsborough County, that you still have those physical assets present that take you back in time. And it's almost living history. We've been very, very careful to protect those physical assets, those buildings, those factories, those brick-lined streets. And so, yes, when you're in Ybor City, you don't feel like you're in any part of Florida. When you're in some of our other historic neighborhoods like Hyde Park or East Tampa or West Tampa, you still feel like you're not really in Florida, not just in the United States, you're not in Florida. And so I think that's why we've started marketing ourselves in a very, very different way. If you're looking to come to Florida and still enjoy that Florida climate, but maybe not feel like you're always in Florida, then you come to Tampa, Hillsborough County, because you're going to get a lot of history, and it's really you know, physically there. It's not referenced, it's physically there.
Excellent. Well, gentlemen, I wish you the very best for the rest of the day in your 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And I wish you the very best in drinking your Ybor City Brewing beer. And I could look forward very much to seeing you, if not later this year, then certainly early next. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll have the pint waiting for you, Graham.
Good man, Neil. That's what I like to hear.